In this series I will introduce 4 manifestations of complexity: A, B, C and D. This is the same picture, a little bit more clear, I think. Today I will focus on the first manifestation of complexity, emergent patterns. And for that I'll take you to the Isle of Terschelling. It's there, more or less. I zoom a little in. This is the isle. It's 100 square kilometers about, and it's in the north of the Netherlands. Most of the pictures I will show you are taken on the west side of the isle. Here you see the landscape, dunes, beach, the sea, and this is with nice weather, but it can be different. It can be very stormy, and sometimes the sea crashes the dunes. As a result, on one hand, dunes are eroding. Sometimes they completely disappear. On the other hand, new dunes are emerging. In a few years, this small dune can be an adult dune. Thanks to the game of wind, sea and sand, we can make beautiful pictures. Every time we visit the isle, we discover new patterns in the sand. And this is what you see when high tide is changing for low tide. This could be an aerial photo of a river delta. In fact, it's the beach. The black here consists of little pieces of wood from the bottom of the sea. And in this picture I see birds. It could be an etching by Escher. This is water flowing from the land into the direction of the sea. What we have learned is that both wind and sea deliver sand to the beach and also move away sand from the beach. There are 2 powers, the breakdown power and the build-up power. Sometimes the breakdown power is much stronger and sometimes the build-up power is stronger. These powers are interacting to each other. And the result is a stable coastline. The pictures I showed you are more or less universal. This picture could have been taken on Terschelling, but in fact it's Australia, in the north of Queensland, near Port Douglas. Of course, in Australia you will also find other pictures, other patterns. This is a picture you cannot make in the Netherlands, and also you will find other biotopes. In all complex processes, you can recognize the 2 interacting powers. This example shows the upbringing of children, the education. On the one hand, you need strict rules, and on the other, you have to rely on children's own responsibility. And as a parallel with leadership, this is what we call the manager's paradox. On the one hand, you need a strict planning and control system. On the other, you should stimulate people and have confidence in them, trust them. And this last example is about climate change. This picture is Rotterdam 2005. In the complex process, you find people who want to conserve the situation as it is, and you find people who want to change the situation. In a good, healthy process, you have to bring these people together and organize a dialogue between them. I finish with some conclusions. 1. In complex processes we can observe 2 adverse powers. On the one hand, these powers are conflicting with each other. On the other, they also need each other. As a result, we will discover interesting emerging patterns. 2. The systems change continuously. Nevertheless, they can show great stability. It's important to realize that stability is not the same as equilibrium. This was the 2nd episode of my series about complexity. In the next episode I will tell you a little bit more about the difference between complex and complicated. Hope to see you. Till then, hoi!